Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man's side. The good news keeps on rolling. 3-0 against Southampton. FA Cup, we progress to the next round, where hopefully we will batter Man United and keep on our victory march. Now this game, we were a little bit lucky to stay in there. Obviously we were under the cosh, but we were plucky. That stickiness, the mentality monster, internal fortitude is what kept us in that game. And as long as you're in the game, you always have the opportunity to score, because Liverpool have the firepower to turn around any match. And big credit the whole entire team. So let's go through the lineup here. Obviously, because we had a slightly weakened lineup to begin with, you need that strong, solid spine, that back line that will hold you and keep you in the game. Queeve Kelleher, magnificent. He was a one-man army in terms of keeping out the opposition. He is bang on form, on fire. He is a titan, a rock the wall. Nothing can get through him, and we need him as our last line of defense, keeping the opposition out. Obviously you can't really replace Alisson Becker, but Queeve is doing his best impersonation, and he is by far the best number 2 in the league. I really hope we can keep a hold of him, because he really deserves to be starting week in, week out, to be honest. I think Celtic are linked with him, but nah, let's keep our Queeve Kelleher, our Irish Malfoy doppelganger, at least in the eyes of the Japanese. Anyway, yes, once again, you got to have that strong back line. So Jarrell Quansah, Virgil van Dijk, Kostas Tsimikas, and Conor Bradley. Now, isn't it amazing when you look at this lineup, right? You look at the senior figures who will bring the youngsters through the game. Obviously, you've got your Van Dijk, you've got your Kostas Tsimikas, but you can consider Jarrell Quansah, Conor Bradley, and Harvey Elliott senior figures within this team. How young are they? 20 thereabouts. Harvey Elliott playing 120 minutes in the Carabao Cup final, absolutely bung on, having the chance, the header down into the floor towards the end of the game. Don't know where he gets energy from, but he pulled out another world-class performance, because his composure, the gravitas of the man, when the ball goes to him, his composure to hold the ball, poise himself, drive through the ball, pick the right option, put the right weight on the passes as well. He's just a cut above, absolute gravy, absolute mustard. I think he's coming to prominence when we need him the most. In this final stage of the season, Harvey Elliott is standing up to be counted, and my goodness, what a player, what a demeanour, what composure as well. And in the post-match interview, he is a mature head, a wise head. He's grown up so much. He's even missed a year of development, you know, against Leeds, 1 year out with the ankle injury. What a player, what a starlet. Really proud to have him in the squad here. And Jarrell Quansah coming to prominence could be saving us millions in the transfer window in terms of being a centre-back, a legitimate centre-back option who's confident enough to take the ball out, can play a bit with both feet, has good ball distribution, always looks calm, cool and composed. He is basically another Sami Hyypiä, faster version of Sami Hyypiä. Obviously Hyypiä was dominant in the air. I think he's slightly different than Van Dijk, because Van Dijk he's got that God-given pace and acceleration, just very hard to build on, right? Additionally, Kostas Tsimikas was a quality delivery, senior player who knows what he's doing on the left-hand side. Obviously, you know, that solid back line, we needed that, because in front of him, bless Joe Gomez's heart, he is an absolute stalwart of this Liverpool squad and represents under Jurgen Klopp. A multifaceted player who plays left back, right back, centre back, doesn't complain, and now his debut in holding midfield 6. Now, James McConnell could have played 6 as well, but then you're shunting Gomez into an 8 position, and Gomez, being the 6, did respectably. Obviously in the first half he found it more difficult, but here's the thing, he's playing with 2 enthusiastic young 8s, James McConnell and Bobby Clark, who are quality players in the outright, and I will get to them in a second, but they don't necessarily keep the shape or protect him or give him the passing lines that someone like Alexis McAllister or Dominic Szoboszlai, even Wataru Endo or Curtis Jones or Gravenberch or Thiago in any of these roles, right? They are still becoming accustomed to what it is with Premier League match pace, sure, championship opposition, but you got to know the passing lanes, you got to have that chemistry and that rapport, and it's very important to build that formula and that chemistry with the players you play with in your respective positions. So right-sided 8 with the right-sided fullback and the right winger, but also that triangle in the middle with the 6 and the 2 8s. So Joe Gomez was exposed a little bit, found it hard to cover the right spaces and close up the passing lanes, but with endeavour, always making himself an option. Short passing game on point as well. Credit to his name. Performance was brilliant. Obviously, Klopp mentioned don't shout shoot whenever, because it does influence the players. Trust me, it does actually influence the players. You get that slight doubt in the back of mind. Should I be shooting? Should I be shooting? Could it be my one chance to get a goal? I know a lot of players have now scored on the team sheet ahead of Gomez. You're talking Jayden Danns, even Koumas, right? But yeah, Joe Gomez, it will come. It will come, my friend. And now we get to the two promising youngsters in the 8 position. My mouth is salivating, in which case I have Sweet Potato Snack from 7-Eleven. And this is the thing, right? In Britain, obviously, in the UK, you got your Maris Piper potatoes, your Spuds, your Prince Philip, Queen William, whatever. You got loads of different kind of Spud types, right? I like my Maris Piper crispy chips, put in the air fryer, don't need no oil, a bit of crispy. But they're lacking the kind of sweet potato snacks, and sweet potato is so prominent in Japan because it's just got that texture, that crumbly, sweet, oozy texture, and when you have that little bit of a topping crunch, it's called Satsuma Inmo. Satsuma is orange, right? But Satsuma Inmo in Japan. Sweet potato. Let's talk about Bobby Clark, all-action midfielder. Right? He reminds me a lot of Lallana, Adam Lallana, gliding throughout the midfield, always dragging the ball with him, comfortable taking the ball under pressure, taking the ball on the turn, dragging the ball with him to find an opening in a gap and to thread the ball through to Koumas on the left-hand side. Composure. I think Bobby Clark is probably the leading candidate of this bunch to really get a starting place or most appearances because he's just multifaceted. He has that security. He's got that glittering technique, that twinkle toes in his step, in his feet as well, a little bit like Lallana, but he moves, he's very mobile, he's very, very athletic. He reminds me sort of Gini Wijnaldum as well. Multifaceted, versatile midfielder, all action, pops up everywhere, has a step over or two and a trick, doesn't mind a shot from distance, gets into great positions, always presents himself. That's what you need in midfield. And alongside that is the counterbalance, right? You've got the more kind of stylistic, artistic James McConnell, who'll take the ball, he'll drag the ball laterally, right, probing across the lines, looking for the opening to bend the ball around the corner. This is very much a Tom Huddleston, a John Joe Shelvey. Thiago does this as well, Busquets does this, Rodri does this. You've got the controller, the tempo maestro at the back, the composure. He did get caught in possession in front of RD, Van Dijk gave him the eyes as well, but he has the bravery to give it a go because in his skill set he needs to do that. You can't just be safe all the time. You need ability to drag the ball, bring the press onto you to open up the gaps to transition the ball and progress the ball. Wataru Endo is an expert at this. When the opposition is coming to press him, there is the gap. In that instant, you ping the ball through and off you go on offensive transition. So James McConnell will get there. Obviously, he's got an assist this season, that long ball headed previously in previous games. And I think he is our ball player, deep line ball player. And it'll be interesting to see who is picked, Tyler Morton or James McConnell, right, in the future for that particular role, because they offer very, very similar attributes. James McConnell's bigger, tankier, but I think Tyler Morton's a bit more versatile in his movement. So, in terms of the other youngsters, Koumas on the left-hand side, debut goal. So I've been told that he's one of the best finishers in the Liverpool squad. They see it week in, week out in training. And obviously it's very, very hard for him. Jurgen Klopp alluded to the fact that he hasn't built those attacking patterns with the left-hand side combination. You've got your Bobby Clark, you've got your Kostas Tsimikas. It's very hard to come in there and make the right runs, expecting the right ball to come through, or dropping short to receive the ball, waiting for an overlap, and knowing instinctively how your partners on the left hand side are going to perform, what they're going to do. So he plucked away. He was very, very good of taking the ball, moving. So the ball came to him and he absorbs the ball into his stride and can go with the ball. His finish was very, very class, because I like the fact that before the goalkeeper can set his feet, you put it in an opposite way that he expects you to go. You give him a bit of the eyes, you shift your body shape, and you curl the ball. It's similar to Kelleher in the cup final, right, against Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga looked like he was going to dive to his left-hand side, Queeves right, so he's going to aim for that side, but then he wrapped his foot around the ball to put it in our direction. Koumas did very much the same, got deflection and went into the goal. Now, we really, really needed that goal to change the momentum and the narrative of the match, because we were under the cosh, we were hanging in there. But as soon as you're under the cosh and you score a goal against a run of play and you're building towards something here, it deflates the opposition, especially at Anfield with the crowd behind you, getting them up on their feet before half-time team talk. It changes the whole narrative, the whole perspective of the match. And obviously, we improved as the match went on. Alexis McAllister, you can see the majestic elements of Alexis McAllister, that World Cup winning quality, the fact that he always has time on the ball, he always has space, he always moves into position to fulfill a function, to give you the outlet and then progress the ball. He is silky smooth like butter, my friend. That BTS song, hot like butter. Hot like butter? Damn, I should have joined BTS. Yeah. I digress. Alexis McAllister, class obviously shown. Ibu Konate taking over for Van Dijk. Different attributes, but obviously he got a crucial foot in when the ball was crossed in from the right hand side and went to the back post, and the guy scuffed it as well. Konate, Van Dijk, absolute man mountains, absolutely essential. And then when up front, Danns came on, right? Danns, wow. he could be a bit of everything. He has a mixture of Harry Kane in him. The running style reminds me a little bit of Danny Ings as well, right? The fact that he's plucky, he works hard, he's a sincere player, he's got a good shot, good striking technique, good instincts as well. What I really, really liked about the two finishes, and it's the same finish I always use, right, in matches, when you bend your run against the last man and it slid inside the centre-back, inside the full-back and the centre-back in there with the on-rushing keeper, all you need is to slow down the play a bit, look at your options, and get underneath the ball to give it a bit of a dink, because the keepers are expecting a hard shot to deflect off him, to hit something and bounce off him, but they're not prepared for that slow dink, which takes an eternity to just float over them as they're sliding across the floor, starfish or whatever, to block your angles. Quality finish. But the second one was more impressive because he did not poach in and around the 6-yard area waiting for a goal. He stood off and waited for the opportunity when the shot came in before making his run, which means he cannot be picked up by the opposition defenders, who had naturally dropped back for any deflection or any ball in and around the area, or to block the angles for a shot, which means that he could go ghost in unopposed, and it's too late for opposition to catch him, because if the ball rebounds his area, it's a first time instinctual finish. That is predatory instincts, my friend, and I really like that. And the fact that he can operate in the channels as well, and there's a bit of techers about him. Very first match, little side Cruyff turn, outside the foot, angled into Gakpo for a Gakpo shot. Eventually Elliott got the ball and wrapped it around left foot for that final goal. So there's a lot of qualities to admire about Jayden Danns, and he could be a bit of everything. He doesn't have that blistering pace, but neither does like a Harry Kane or Lewandowski, right? He could be that kind of player. As long as his finishing is on point, finishing technique is on point, movement is good, his physicality is good, his aerial ability seems semi-decent as well, I think he will be a menace for the opposition. And he's still young and he's still growing. And then Troy Ignoni, right? Wow. Silky, smooth play. He looks like one of those technical maestros in midfield. Just has all the time in the world on the ball. Now, forgive me for saying this, but he basically looks like a Paul Pogba. Long-limbed, athletic, skillful, technique, vision, without the attitude and without the glamour and glitz and diva-ish demands and mentality and the world revolving around him. Troy Ignoni could become anything, really. He has technique for days, and you can see how much glowing praise Jurgen Klopp gave him as well. But another name that I want to put light on, similar to Troy Ignoni when they signed for Liverpool, is Amara Nallo. Now, this guy could potentially be a top-notch centre-back. He is described as a Rolls Royce of a defender, and he came in very, very young. Correct me if I'm wrong, something like 16 years old, left-footed centre-back from West Ham. They did not want to lose him. Amara Nallo could be the next big thing at centre-back, but he's still very, very young. But before he gets that stage, now you want to keep the secure back line. You want your experience in the back line in the essential positions. Before he gets there, we've got youngsters like Sepp van den Berg, who's having a fantastic season, could be in a rotation depending on Matip's role, whether he leaves at the end of the season or whether he's extended. We have Kumetio as well. I don't quite think Kumetio's at that tier. He has played for the first team, but he just doesn't have the agility within him and the technique, I think, to really, really hit the heights. I think Sepp van den Berg is a lot ahead of him. Jarrell Quansah has obviously overlapped everyone in that regard. I think Nat Phillips will depart, Reece Williams will depart as well. Then you've got Tyler Morton, who has the temperament and ability to dominate championship games. Him and Fabio Carvalho are doing exponentially well. Fabio Carvalho is getting his confidence up. He's a natural kind of 10 in that position as well. He'll find it very hard to get in the team ahead of Harvey Elliott, but it depends on what formation the new manager plays as well. But even then, does he deserve a shirt? We will see. He's got technique. He's got flair. He has ability, which we've seen previously in the past, but he has to fulfill that potential ability. And as you can see, Harvey Elliott, with however many appearances, is he over 100 appearances already? I don't know, but he has certainly a lot of appearances, and he is worth his place in the squad. If not in the first team, he'll eventually be a first team name on the sheet as well, because he's absolutely quality. Then you've got other players as well, right? So you've got your Danns, you've got your Koumas, but you've got your other players as well, like Trent Cone-Doherty, Owen Beck, Calvin Ramsey, you've got Cade Gordon, Ben Doak. Liverpool 3.0 and beyond. It looks like it is in fantastic shape, right? Absolutely fantastic shape. Tyson Muzalowski, I don't know about his temperament or attitude. He had the talent, but I haven't really seen him kick on really. But there's elements of talent in that squad. The fact that he can't even break in, and you've got Cade Gordon and Ben Doak in that position, wowzers. Abundance of riches. And this is all thanks to Klopp's decision to build infrastructure around a natural progression from the youngsters, the youth, through to the first team. The AXA Training Academy, everyone training together, promoting these youngsters to train with the first team. Know it's all about the physicality, the speed of play, the technique, what you have to do before you get the ball, what you have to do after you get the ball, the defensive attributes to really make an impression on the coaches, showing your willingness to press and your game intelligence and something about you and your attitude and your demeanour and your effort in training, your blood, sweat and tears every single day in front of the coaches. That is why you get called up to the first team. And now there's a natural pathway. The most promising youngsters in the world will of course want to play for Liverpool. I love the culture thing as well, about no flashy cars until you've earned it. The fact that the goalkeepers can't get on that wall until they've won something with a cup. You can't touch a "This is Anfield" sign unless you've won something with Liverpool as well. All these cultural things make up a fantastic role model player. You have beautiful role models like Van Dijk, like Endo, Milner previously, Endo previously, all these inspirations and legends from the past. This is what the Liverpool ethos and culture and infrastructure is all about. And whoever gets the next job, hoping Xabi Alonso, could be Amorim, could be Nagelsmann, appreciates that they've been given one of the best handovers in Liverpool or football history, because this team is set to win for many a generation. Liverpool 2.0 looks exceedingly strong. This is the first year of a brand new midfield. McAllister, Endo, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch. All these youngsters coming to prominence and making a name for themselves and putting themselves in awareness of the current coaches and the future coaches as well. Why would Xabi Alonso want to go to Bayern Munich where there's turmoil? They need a rebuild, they need a refresh. And he's never won the Premier League, right? So this is an opportunity to win the Premier League, test himself against the biggest minds, especially in Guardiola, while Guardiola is still at Man City. Alonso will like to face that challenge, and I'm going to make a dedicated video on what Liverpool look like under Xabi Alonso and why he won't play 3-5-2 at Liverpool. You don't want to miss that video for sure. But once again, the future looks incredibly bright. Bobby Clark, he's the next midfielder coming through for sure. He looks a class apart. McConnell is definitely adding something to the season. Jayden Danns, full of confidence, got a double. Anfield debut. Koumas, Anfield debut. He's got his one as well. This is beautiful music to my ears. And obviously when they come through the academy and you see the youngsters shine, oh, wow, it's no greater feeling. The week has already started on a good note. It's ending on a good note as well. Off we go to Forest. We need to win that one as well. Unfortunately, wasn't extra time in that one to tie the legs a little bit more. Is what it is. We'll hopefully be getting some of the big guns for the run-in, right? So Salah's due to come back. Szoboszlai is due to come back. Endo was just precautionary. He's going to come back as well. Endo, McAllister holding our midfield together. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful to see. We've got the third man. It could be anyone from Elliott. Gravenberch is only out for 2 weeks or so. Gakpo is plugging away, giving it his all, giving his effort. Darwinho, Chaos Fury Nunes. He's up top as well. Future so bright, and I'm enjoying every single second of it. It really is a pleasure to watch this Liverpool team. And who knows, we've got that little lad, wee Jay Spearing, right, floating around under 21s making cameo appearances. That young lad might get a game or two. Just kidding. Make sure to like this video, it helps to beat the algorithm. Thank you so much for the interaction. Absolutely appreciate you guys so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of content coming up. That Xabi Alonso content coming very soon. But also I'll do what a Liverpool 2.0 looks like under Ruben Amorim, what it looks like under Nagelsmann and beyond. Make sure you stay tuned. Janet.